The day after Paul Richards' birthday, his eyes look normal. Seems to be moving normal, unlike Raghubar Singh. All right, but we get into that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us this Monday morning, 7th day of August, on the Power Breakfast Show on Power 102 Digital. Quickly, let's get into the WT, starting with the T for traffic. I got nothing to tell you about east, west, north, or south. I have nothing to tell you about. All right, weather-wise. Let's see what's happening in the weather for TNT. I tell you, yesterday had to be the hottest day of the year. It was a scorcher. We won't talk about those that went to the beach, but yesterday was certainly a scorcher. It is 26 degrees at Piarco International Airport, 27, our beautiful sister isle of Tobago. All right. What the weather is going to be like for today? Well, fair to partly cloudy at times from pre-dawn with some isolated light to moderate showers over broad areas. There is a medium 40 to 60% chance. Some of these showers could become heavy and thundery. All right. So that's your weather forecast for today. Check in some temps across our listenership quickly before I get boof. Yes, public holiday in Canada today, 20 degrees. Of course, there Caribana was on the weekend. It was a bumper for sure. Miami, 29. Ay. That's a hot one. Orlando, 27. New York, 22 with heavy rain. Las Vegas, it's clear, and their temperature, what is it going up to? I always like to check their temperatures. They're going up to 41 degrees today. Atlanta, clear and 22. London, mostly cloudy and 18. Tampa, clear and 27. And Washington, D.C., partly cloudy at 23 degrees. All right, let's see what Sanders Hello's first thing this morning. Check in our mobile app and website. Let's see. I don't know what happened to Kenny, but he's there somewhere. Maria Marva, first off the gate this morning, followed by Oliver Man Warren. Morning, Ollie. Got Celia in Valencia, Wendy Ann in San Juan, Miss Ingrid out in Tucson, Arizona. Carol Guevara, good morning to you as well. Kazim Mohammed on YouTube. Good morning to you, Kazim. Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. You guys going to have a scorcher today. Yeah, entire Florida state is going to be extremely hot today. Ms. Maloney Dudu, good morning. Rena Boodoo Jennings and Randy Kelly. Good morning to Randy as well. All right, so let me throw it to the guys. Paul Richards, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Randall.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners.
You're going back downstairs and you're looking fuzzy.
Sorry?
Yeah.
You're going back downstairs and you're looking fuzzy.
Actually, no, I'm upstairs. But I thought, because I want to say, I actually had cause to call Flo yesterday to tell them about my internet, and the lady with a heavy Jamaican accent went through a long process of reboot, starting over the box and doing all manner of things. And so that's actually how I have internet. Otherwise, I would have had to get down to St. James again today.
But the internet is better. Maybe your camera needs to be clean.
Yeah, maybe you need to put a light on.
Oh, gosh. You're really wiping with your finger, boy.
You sort that out,
yeah.
man.
Wow.
Yeah, I will.
You sort that out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know why these call centers that we're in Trinidad and why our call centers are outside of Trinidad. And I don't know why.
Because it's cheaper, Steve.
Well, listen to me. If we bring it here, they negotiate something and create employment within Trinidad and Tobago.
And people running a business, and their first concern is the lowest cost, operational cost.
Well, they need to do something. I had cause to deal with Scotiabank on
because something are cheaper. That's all it is.
Scotiabank.
You and I get to make an accent or anywhere. No,
it was a Spanish accent. Spanish name.
You like Spanish accent.
How was your birthday yesterday, Paul?
It was fantastic.
You went to put your feet in the sand. You had a couple of beverages, I see.
Las Cuevas was lovely. There was no one on the beach. I got there at
You got there really early.
7:45.
I ain't getting up that
And I
early.
left at 12:15. And it was not easy after I left.
Paul Richards, you can't tell me there's no one on the beach when your picture clearly had 2 beer bottles.
So I can't drink 2 beers.
Well, he didn't go alone, Wendell. You should know that by now.
I can't drink 2 beers.
I took note that 1 beer was almost complete and the other one was just about less than half. I took note of all that. I'm busy looking in the reflection of the bottle to see who the hell it is.
Yeah, he didn't think about the reflections in the bottle.
And that's of interest to you. Why?
I don't know. I just feel like teasing you.
You just want to harass it as well.
I know.
I just feel like provoking you. I just feel
it was a wonderful day. I'm surprised as to how sparse the beach was, but when I was going home at 12:15, 12:30, if you see cars coming over that hill.
I can imagine.
Yesterday
I don't know why people would go to the beach in the afternoon. It's crazy. If you see cars, I mean,
yeah.
And then people, they need to do something about the lookout where they have those vendors because people were parking indiscriminately and causing so much traffic.
Mm-hmm. You won't start with lookouts with me.
So, but people need to make a living. So
and how were the cupcakes, Paul?
Fantastic. Good morning to Mahalia from our traffic.
Yeah, if you want cupcakes, call Mahalia here at the office. They're absolutely divine. Absolutely, and the prices are good. So call me here if you want to get cupcakes.
Yeah. Give me, guys, just as an aside, because since I shared this thing, I started sharing it this morning because I was waiting on another response, and when I didn't get at it, I started sharing it this morning, and my phone has blown up. With all manner of people messaging me back, including Minister Camille Robinson-Regis, who said, very nice lineup. But what's the link, the YouTube link? Give me what to tell people how to log on. You
don't know by now? You go to YouTube. No,
give me, because I know what I do. I know what I do, but I want to make it easy for people.
Just put Power 102 Digital in YouTube, it will come up.
Yeah,
Power 102 Digital, right?
Digital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all.
Because the party wants to share it. So
this week, powers that you think I have, you'll have to chill out because powers that you think I don't have. So today, later on this morning, we have Philip Alexander. Tomorrow we have Khadija Amin. On Wednesday we have Finance Minister Colin Imber. On Thursday we have Gary Griffith. And on Friday we have Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Powers that you all don't think I have. That's what I will say.
Well done.
He went into shock on Friday.
No, I went to the normal channels to ask the Prime.
And all he did is ask one question. When they use the question.
Yeah, I know. I know because
I said that individual has not been with the company for 3 years. And the answer was, okay, I'll be there. Affirmative.
Right. Great. Because and morning Gary said good luck today.
Yeah, he said it to me too.
I said it's all part of the job. I'm actually breaking up.
We have to try to be fair. You understand?
Yeah. I'm actually breaking a promise I made to myself years ago, though.
Yeah, but you cannot discount somebody who is legitimately running for political office.
Yeah.
This is media. This is not personal, and I hope all our guests behave themselves.
I accept that. You know. But a lot of people are looking forward to it. So well done, Paul. Well done, Paul 102. Hopefully we will have an excellent week. I will try to do it every day with you guys. I can't promise, but I will try.
You're invited all week.
Yeah.
I'll send the link for you.
My body naturally shuts down on a Tuesday morning, and most times on a Tuesday. It may shut down tomorrow simply because I have cricket tonight at the Queen's Park Oval.
There's so much I want to say, but I will not. There's so much I want to say.
I know there's.
Good morning and congratulations to Nikolai Blackman.
Mm-hmm.
Brought him our first gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. Well done, young man.
Yeah, and he
I think
really was.
our volleyball team is also doing well somewhere. Young Blackman struck the world in a personal best time of 1 minute 49.94 seconds to beat out who's the other team? Cayman Islands, who got silver, and Australia, who got bronze. So you'll go down to the stadium and support the young fella and them now, gosh.
Yeah,
and that volleyball.
They had a nice turnout for that swim meet though, based on the video that someone shared on Facebook. Because there was a lot of cheering for him, a lot, So,
yeah, but he's a young superstar on the rise, so good stuff for him.
Yeah, that volleyball stadium that they have is amazing. Yeah, the sand for the volleyball, I believe, when he came in late last week, and they had 24 hours to put it together, which they did.
I think that was deliberate, though, based on what I read, that they couldn't bring it here too early because of, it's sand that they're importing to for a particular reason.
Yeah, from Guyana.
Yeah, so it was timed to perfection. Let me see if I find other birthdays. So belated birthday greetings, Paul Richards. You celebrated a big one yesterday. Today is a very good friend of mine, Marlene Rahaman, who is actually the mother of Marsha Walker. You know that Marsha Walker from Facebook fame from Don Carenage, who always making noise against Dr. Rowley. Her mother is my very good friend, Marlene Rahaman. Happy birthday, Marlene. Daniel Roberts Batiste, Donna.
The family actually are PNM friends?
Yeah, no, Marlene and I go way back. As a matter of fact, I
was just joking when they have to answer.
No, I just said I used to tease Marlene. I said Marsha could have been my daughter, but she definitely would have had to be PNM. Charlene Ford from the Port of Spain Corporation. Happy birthday, Charlene. Susanna Haddad, Esmond Lord, Emily Purdy Clark, that's the wife of Bishop Ashton Ezra Clark. And Samantha Felix from down there in Siparia. Happy birthday, Samantha. Siparia or Faizabad, someone of those two places. Yesterday was also Cecilia Salazar's birthday. So
yes, and on the 5th was Samantha John's birthday.
Okay.
And David George birthday was also, I think, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
David George. Where do I know that name from?
From train parties and stuff.
All right, the George York and George brothers.
The George York, George York combination.
Right. I know who David is.
A lot of birthdays are Madonna, the late Whitney Houston, coming up on the 9th, the same day as Nikki Crosby.
Oh.
So a lot of birthdays, Let's just put it this way. Our families got really busy at the start of December.
Yeah, because I have two sisters. I have one the 10th and one the 12th. And then I have Mrs. Manning is the 11th.
Wives make husbands very happy at the start of December. I guess that's the Christmas prelude.
I get. You know what that is?
Christmas presents.
Coming home in the middle of all the cleaning, you're tired.
And the parangin and thing.
Yeah.
All the parangin you come home from alignment and thing. The start of December. Yeah. Hey, what happened, girl? Hey.
Agnes and Jack.
What we gonna do, girl?
Agnes and Jack guilty.
Joseph.
I know it was a J.
Why you putting my mother with a Jack now? Why you doing that?
Sorry, Mrs. Richard. Sorry.
I was a little closer because I think I came a little 2 weeks early, so maybe I was like even closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
Painting and all that kind of thing,
Right.
Poor soul, she works so hard to clean the house, she can't fight back, She got her jostle.
Oh, I don't know, that'd be a fight. Sometimes that'd be a rest of a relief,
Relief. Put him to sleep.
Oh gosh.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I was going to actually book guests for 6:15 to 6:35 to 6:35, but I'll do it from tomorrow. I know there'll be a lot to talk about this morning.
Yeah.
So
a lot happened over the weekend. This young lady in San Fernando
the Council for Ethical Political Behavior, like they finally meet with a once-a-week meeting.
Yeah.
And they deemed that Mrs. Pasabi-Sessa's light them up comments were inappropriate, insensitive, and a breach of Section 2. And it can be considered as inciting violence. So they have ruled on that. I think, did they rule on anything else? Because they said that several things they were going to consider.
That's everything I read about.
Also, the Integrity Commission has determined that the Prime Minister, Dr. Rowley, was in breach of the Integrity in Public Life Act when he failed to declare the purchase of a Tobago townhouse. But they also said they terminated the investigation into the complaint because the Prime Minister had broken the law. And they are of the view that Dr. Rowley did not knowingly provide false information on his declaration.
You know, that's a strange report, coming after we were told that there was nothing to investigate in it. You know, it's a strange thing coming out the week before an election. I have to admit that.
Well, they did say that he broke no law and they stopped the investigation. What's strange about it? Are you suggesting there's some motive involved here?
I'm saying the fact that they could have said prior, and I can't verify that now because it was said on a platform that there was nothing to investigate because Dr. Rowley read the letter, if I'm not mistaken, on a platform. For the week before the election, it comes now to say he actually didn't report the townhouse, but he breached no law. You know, it's very curious.
Aren't you happy to just know that it's not a big deal in the moving?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying the games continue within and without our own sphere. I'm speaking here about the media. You understand? The games continue in what they choose to put as headline and what they choose not to. You understand? So I watch that and I just say, you know, thankfully, Paul 102 this week, we have PEP, we have UNC, we have NTA, we have PNM. You understand? Who we missing? PDP. Only PDP we missing.
Right? Somebody suggested we were biased, and I had to tell them. They said they say 2 PNM days. I say the UNC and the NTA are in an alliance. So.
Yeah.
So it's balanced.
UNC, NTA have 2 people also.
Thank you.
You understand?
People see what they want to see, you know.
Yeah, but Carl Mimbert is he's going to touch a lot on what's been happening with the economy and all that, and how local government financing will be done.
That's specifically why he was booked. How is it intended to unfold in terms of financing of the regional corporations?
Yeah. Because I've up to yesterday, I was dealing with a certain corporation, and they said they have no money.
Yeah. So
what
is the intended pay structure and all of that we want to ask?
Yes.
Because we're going into the election on Monday coming, 1 week to go, and we haven't heard about what I haven't heard about the pay structure for councillors, aldermen, mayors, etc.
So. And that is a concern, has always been a concern of mine.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that we are getting the opportunity to be here live on air from the minister. What exactly are the proposed packages for councillors and all the.
So all of that. Also, what we want to ask him about the refinery, because he asked me to send him a list of topics. I said the Patrician refinery update, the energy sector, given the plants are down, and if we're losing revenue, winter is coming in the US and the UK. If that means more energy prospects for us, the prices of energy may go up because of the increased demand, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and for people who are reported, Steve just said that people are saying they have no money. Normally, that's coming to the end of the financial year.
No,
normally that's the case.
This is since last year. Since last year, I've been dealing with an issue with the corporations. And they say they have no money.
Say that just now, but you didn't say that just now.
I say that now. They have no money. They have no money to fix vehicles. Some of them have one truck. You know, we actually had to do something and pay for it ourselves. So I don't know when you sit down and hear a budget, I don't know where the money goes. Does it go only in salaries? I don't know.
Well, I know my concern is, and I understand the plan, But transitions to new plans are very problematic in this country, especially when people don't understand new law and what is required of them. The issue of the procurement law also comes into play because corporations also have to have an approved list, but the minister can, through regulation and approval with the OPR, have exemption listings for suppliers, which means they have to move early when they're constituted.
Yeah.
So the corporation, the bodies have a lot of work to do when they start, a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'll grind to a halt, which, I mean, I don't think people should be unreasonable and expect perfection in the first 6 months because it is a brand new system.
Yes.
My concern is how ready are they? And also ministries and also public agencies, state agencies, how ready are they? You know? Because we're moving to new systems and there's always a transition glitch involved.
Yeah.
You know?
I think one of the issues that definitely need to be touched on is water. I don't know who we could, maybe Minister Imbert could help us with that, because every group chat that I'm in leading up to this election, because they've created new chats, water.
Yeah, we actually had no water. Well, where I live in Barataria, no water for the weekend.
Yeah.
When I went to bed last night, I checked and there was no water coming in. This morning I checked and water was finally trickling in.
Well, there has been a notice overnight from WASA, and let me just find it quickly and read it for you guys. I saw it this morning when I got up on my phone, and it says, let me quickly find it. It says, release service disruption to customers served by El Socorro booster station. The Water and Sewage Authority advises customers in parts of northwest Trinidad served by the El Socorro booster station who are currently experiencing low pressures or no water supply that this is due to mechanical problems affecting one of the pumps at the facility. Emergency repairs are currently underway and are expected to be completed by 9 p.m. today. 9 p.m. today. Okay, so the affected areas are Barataria, Morva, Lavantil, Picton Road, East Dry River, Belmont, Woodbrook, Westmoreland, Long Circular Road, Dundonald Hill, D-Bay, Cocorit, St. Anne's, Cascade. That's basically from Barataria, go all the way down west, all the way down, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And I know that councillors, well, not councillors, in this case, candidates have been busy sourcing truck-borne water to help out people and so on. It's painful. Some of the things that I'm reading, what people are going through. Why WASA? Why can't you all get it right just one period in someone's lives before they hit 100 and doddering into the grave? Why? And WASA? Why? And this spans, because I know if I was saying something else, you all would have said it spans all governments. This spans all governments. Why can't you all get it right? Anyway,
so the PNM had a meeting on Saturday. The Prime Minister Shaw, with conversations with the Prime Minister. He seems to like that format for some reason.
Yeah, he does.
Things are more relaxed. You get a more relaxed Dr. Rowley. You know, to me, when he's standing at the podium, he's a lot more aggressive. You know, and I think maybe because it's an interface with people, you know, the population, ordinary citizens. Sorry?
Directly, a direct interface.
Yeah, so I guess it's a different kind of interface than on a platform. Of course, he repeated his condemnation of Mrs. Pasal Bissessa and her light them up, and the increased intensity load up Dematic, which is also receiving condemnation, because I don't know that proposing load up Dematic is even, if you could get away with light them up with your licensed firearm. I don't know how many people have licensed matics in the country.
And actually telling people how to use the gun.
And
demonstrating how to use a gun.
And load up the matic is, to me, even worse than light them up. And I just don't think it's productive conversation. from someone at that level.
Somebody setting up
Load up Dematic is very disturbing because load up Dematic is, I don't know what to say about that.
Somebody setting up Kamala Prasad Bissessar. And out of that nonsense that she's been spewing on a platform came a meme and ad, I don't know if you all saw it, with Dr.
Which was
Rowley,
very disturbing.
With Dr. Rowley as a target.
With a bullseye superimposed on him. Which is very, very disturbing.
Yeah.
I was happy to see both the UNC and the NTA condemn that.
Well, let back up a bit. The NTA condemned it almost immediately. The UNC take a day and a half, if not two.
Wendell, they both condemned it.
Well, I'm giving you my version. I ain't telling you they didn't, you know. I'm just saying the UNC took very long and calling for a police investigation into the video. Please.
It is a very disturbing development. And I think people need to be very careful about this stupidness they're doing. Because there's nothing funny or relevant about that.
Yeah.
It is very, very
disturbing. Good sense finally prevailed with Gary, who immediately condemned it after his shouting match. Well, not shouting match, but his shouting at the Prime Minister on a golf course the other day. I want to ask him about that, you know. If he thinks, you know, people take examples of leaders when they do things. People don't understand that, you know. So when Dr. Rowley says something or does something, a lot of people will look at it, and if they don't like it, they will condemn it and they will say, but our leaders shouldn't be doing that. We've done that to Dr. Rowley on several occasions. Why would Kamala Prasad Bissessar and Gary Griffith, well, Watson Duke and the other leaders, they are accustomed to carrying on in a certain way. But why would they, who probably, Mrs. Prasad Bissessar has been a prime minister, she probably is the person best poised or positioned to become a prime minister again. And that is the language you're going to be using on a platform?
Yeah, I find it quite disturbing.
Oh, no, man. And guess what? Well, real people load up Matics this week and went after people. Real people light up other people this weekend.
Yeah. I'm just trying to load that very, very, that murder in San Fernando. It is so, when the woman was killed. Very, very, very disturbing.
That load up and light up we see in San Fernando of a supposedly, for all intents and purposes, innocent businesswoman who clearly had knowledge of people threatening her. You understand? And of people wanting to come after her. As a matter of fact, she dared them to come after her. You understand? Based on some posts that we've been seeing circulating. So condolences to the De Leon family. They have 4 young children who are now fatherless because the father died last year of COVID, and now motherless because the mother was assassinated by whomever.
That is so disturbing.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, and
it tires me out sometimes. It tires me out.
This is the video of the situation. She's now leaving the house here.
Like everyone this morning and over the weekend.
Going to work 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then this car pulls up.
This 80 wagon.
She clearly senses some sort of danger, wouldn't you say?
Well, they blocked the car. But then she realized a guy comes out and she reverses. She should just go and drive and go forward. He is driving a range.
I don't know. And of course,
but that plot thickens, because I don't know if you all saw the headlines in one of the dailies yesterday. Where they alleged it was a family feud.
Messages have since been revealed of her, of posts on Facebook and so on.
It is a very disturbing situation. Very
young kids are without their parents.
So, I mean, I think she was in the banana import or export business or something like that.
She would have inherited her husband's business.
Yeah, excuse me, Wendell. I think you need to shift your camera. You need to move that shadow all over your face. I don't know if you've seen it. But you need to move, Wendell.
I'll close the blind. That's all.
And then you won't get any light.
That's a sad. And then, in the heart of Tunapuna, Saturday morning, a guy was killed. I don't
know. Very, very disturbing.
Extremely.
Some good news. The 8-year-old who was shot is resting in stable condition.
An 8-year-old was shot?
Yeah, Callum.
Where?
I think in Sangre Grande. Yeah. Callum
under what circumstances?
He was with his mother, 29-year-old Numi St. Bernard of Valencia, and other siblings at 10:17 on Friday when they began hearing explosions. He complained to his mother about a burning sensation in his upper left chest, and she observed what appeared to be a wound with blood coming out. He was rushed to the Sangre Grande Hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery. Thank God he lived. And he's in stable condition now. So another child shot. It's just so disturbing,
Oh, thanks, Ruben. I just saw Ruben send the YouTube link for me. Thanks. I'll share that also.
Very disturbed. So those are the things happening in your country, Trinidad and Tobago. It's 23 before 7 o'clock. Again, at 7 o'clock, we have Philip Alexander coming up. Tomorrow, we'll have Khadija Amin. I think she's a deputy political leader of the UNC, if I'm not mistaken. On Wednesday, Finance Minister Colin Imber. On Thursday, NTA's political leader Gary Griffith. And on Friday, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley. So let's go through the newspapers for today, online versions anyhow. Let's start with The Guardian. It is Monday, the 7th of August. Prime Minister again slams Kamala over gun talk. Cops have no lead in businesswoman's murder. Boy 15 in car on way to church with family hit. Businesswoman ambushed and killed. PM again slams Kamala over gun talk. Off-duty police officer shoots security guard in altercation. Breathe. Venezuelan teen raped, robbed, and stabbed in Chaguanas. Young upset by social media clip showing gun at Prime Minister's heart. And former German ambassador, TNT on the right track with Venezuelans. So those are trending stories in your Guardian. Let's move now to the Express. TNT scouts beat Korean heat. Golden Blackman, that's Nikolai Blackman, sent the crowd into a frenzy at the National Aquatic Center, touching the wall in 1 minute, 49.94 seconds. He copped gold. Retired couple robbed. Calls for joint CARICOM relations with Africa. Ghana and TNT work on partnership. Rowley in breach. Rowley shoots down gun talk. NTA hits back, take evidence to police. Of course, the Prime Minister referenced the FUL issues on conversations on Saturday. And new hope for cancer patients. Let's move now to which one's it? Newsday, I guess I have to do still. The Newsday for today. Right. Venezuelan teen raped, robbed, stabbed in Chaguanas. Boy 15 among 3 shot in Dow Village. 5 Venezuelans arrested. Differing views on Stand Your Ground. Businesswoman gunned down in San Fernando, and shoppers campers man killed in Tunapuna. So those are the horrific stories. And pre-action letter sent to Integrity Commission. Why no action against PM? That's Ravi Balgobin Maharaj. And attorney calls on Kamala to address racial undertones in Stand Your Ground proposal. That's attorney at law Martin George. So those are trending stories in your Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today, Monday, the 7th of August, 2023.
You smiling so far?
Because I'm happy to be alive.
You should be. But over the weekend, I know that, well, I played cricket on Friday. We won our both matches. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Saturday, what did I do Saturday? Oh, I went to a fundraiser down to Couva. I haven't been to Couva in a long, long time. And me and some friends, Harper and some others, Malua and them, and Nafiza, we went to a fundraiser down San Fernando on Saturday at the Tiki Bar. Tiki Poolside. Tiki Bar Poolside. Right, that's what it is. At Couva. We had a good time. It was nice, you know. Morning Superintendent Charles from the city police, who encouraged me to purchase some tickets and come down and enjoy myself. So and that's what I did. And then yesterday I had some folks over to say farewell to someone who's taking up a position abroad soon, you know. So it was a nice weekend, and I look forward to cricket at the Queen's Park Oval tonight. You all could come down and watch some cricket. We have 2 matches tonight. Yeah. So what question we going with today, Paul?
All right. While you all figure that, let's say good morning going out to a few people on YouTube and our mobile app and website. Good morning to Marcia Rock, Slick Money Grip. Good morning. Mo Gaines out in Aruka, the Great, Brenda Isaac, Lando, Anthony Tinto out in Canada. Good morning to you. Dennis Dre out in Rio Claro. Good morning as well. All right.
Oh, let me send this program into Tinto. I don't remember that. Tinto, I'm going to send you the... Sorry.
So my suggestion for the question is the local government election is exactly 1 week away today. So my suggested question is, do you think the results will change from 3 years ago?
Okay. Yeah, we could fashion local government questions for the entire week in terms of the results. In terms of results. You know, so we could start off there. Do you think that there'll be any change in the distribution of corporation from 3 years ago? That's better? It's 7-7 right now.
So my suggestion is simplify. Do you think the results of the LG will be different from 3 years ago?
All right.
Because many are suggesting that. What are the battleground areas?
Sangre Grande, Chaguanas, Siparia, San Fernando.
Tunapuna, you think?
No. Tunapuna not going to change. That young man did a very good job in Tunapuna. And I think
Robinson.
Well, yeah, he's been very effective in Tunapuna. You've not been hearing Tunapuna as something marginal in this election at all, as opposed to prior elections.
So 1 week from now, Trinidad and Tobago will be going to the polls for local government elections. 2023 has been quite an intense campaign so far, more than we've seen in the last 15 years. Would that be so, Wendell?
Yeah.
Or probably ever. Our question...
Yeah, I will agree with that, Paul.
Our question this morning is, do you think the results of the LGE will change from 3 years ago? I'll put LGE 2023.
You guys did headlines already?
Yes, Steve.
All right, so let's get the results of our morning poll
just so
on
you
Friday.
LGE, just so you change LGE to LGT, so?
Let's get the results of our morning poll from Friday. Friday, we asked you, should Kamala Persad-Bissessar apologize for her light them up comment? That was our poll on Friday. Give results right after this.
SWAT Estate Police Company Limited recruitment drive from the 27th of July to the 8th of August 2023. Available positions: security officers, supervisors, estate constables, and drivers. Interested? Then visit any of their locations to complete application forms. Head office, number 2 Royal Promenade Road, Aruca. In San Fernando, number 69 Naparima Mayara Road, Coquia Village. Port of Spain, number 31 Rosalino Street, Tobago, number 21 Hibiscus Drive, Lowlands. We offer a timely salary, life insurance, medical insurance, health insurance, pension plan, and paid vacation leave. Please ensure you walk with a passport-size photo, a copy of your ID or DP, and all certificates. A resume is optional. For further information, check out their socials or contact 646-7928, extension 1205. SWAT, serving businesses and communities for over 31 years.
All right. Should Kamala Prasad Bisasa apologize for her light them up comments? Well, the results are in. 61%. 61 said no.
Just as I thought.
All right. 61 said no. Let's get into this morning's poll. Do you think the results of the local government elections 2023 will change from 3 years ago? You think it will change? Yes or no? Send us your response, yes or no, on YouTube or via our mobile app and website at power102fm.com. And of course, you can call us at 222-8255 in North Americans, toll-free number for you to vote, 866-525-1099. Our number is directly into our studio, all right? All right.
You're taking notes, Wendell?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's
I'll
see
take
what we
them.
got here.
All right. Of course, this morning, our guest after the 7 o'clock news will be Philip Alexander, political leader of the PEP. He'll be our guest this after 7 o'clock. Tomorrow will be Khadija Amin of the United National Congress. Wednesday, Colm Imbert of the People's National Movement. Thursday, Gary Griffith of the NTA, UNC Alliance. And of course, on Friday will be the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. All right? So,
good morning, CJ, New York. GB says no to the poll. Good morning, Scorpion Pepper as well.
222-8255, 612-8255, toll-free if you are in North America, 866-525-1099. We go to the polls in exactly 1 week. Do you think the results of the local government election 2023 will change from 3 years ago? Meaning, do you think any of the corporations will change, the regional bodies will change hands in any way? There are a lot more players in this election, you know.
Yep. And I can tell you from now, 1 week earlier, that I won't be on air next week, Monday, okay? I won't be on air. So I can tell you that
Slick
from
Money
now.
Grip says yes. Thank you, Slick Money Grip. 222-8255. Toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Do you think the results of the local government elections 2023 will change from 3 years ago?
Oh, yeah, that's still be against other trouble because you can't campaign Monday, you know, because that's against the law. So
actually, I have a big role to play on Monday. So I even if I wanted to
have
be
a
on
big
here,
role to play on Monday. What big role is that?
I'm managing a campaign, so I have to make sure that everything is done.
You managing a campaign? Who would have thought?
Imran Khan, the candidate for St. James West. Yeah, I've not been intimately involved for a while as I am this time. But I'm managing Imran Khan's campaign.
So you're a campaign manager?
Yeah, I'm a campaign manager. Outside of being the constituency chairman, which carries also another responsibility, but I'm actually managing his campaign. And I want to prove a point. I'm going to be proving a point. Yeah, I want to prove a point in his campaign. Because the first time we having a candidate in St. James West of East Indian descent, first time we having a candidate for St. James West from the Cocorite area. You understand? And I want to prove a point.
Well, I guess you might as well campaign now because you can't campaign Monday.
No, I'm campaigning the whole week. Oh.
But you can't campaign the whole week. You're campaigning right now.
Outside of them interviews, all you're going to be hearing is PNM. Whole week.
And that's different to other times how? How is that different to any other time? Is that particularly, are you going to like intensify, or is it going to be like, you're going to talk more about PNM, or you're going to just be normal?
Yes, I'll talk more.
That is possible?
Yes.
It's possible for you to talk about PNM?
Yes, it's possible.
Wow. Scorpion Pepper says yes. Carol Guevara says no.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the results of the LG 2023 will change from 3 years ago?
So it's 7-7 now, not so, Wendell?
It is 7-7, yes.
Right.
The Sangre Grande Corporation can change hands. And
will you not tarnish the poll, please?
No, I'm not tarnishing the poll.
If you're saying the Sangre Grande Corporation can change hands, it is directly linked to the poll question.
All right, okay, so I'll hush.
But you did say you'll be campaigning hard all week, so I understand. I just have to be here to check you.
Did I say I'll be campaigning for the People's National Movement?
It doesn't matter.
Did I say I'll be campaigning for PNM? I don't remember saying that.
Don't worry. You campaign for mayor. We'll ask the Prime Minister that on Friday.
You see the color t-shirt I wear today? I tell Gary I specifically want to provoke Philip.
I think they're looking for white t-shirt whole week.
Yeah, I really had to watch my wardrobe this week.
And I'm going to wear yellow on Wednesday. For Mr.
Bro, you ain't even thinking of doing that.
All right. Stretch says yes.
Come on, where you call? We want to hear from you. Give us a call right now. 222-TALK, 222-8255.
Yeah.
612-8255. Steve, is the phone working?
7. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, play over the weekend.
Yeah.
Do you think the results of the local government election 2023, which will be held Monday coming on the 14th of August, will change from 3 years ago? Right now, the PNM has 7 corporations and the UNC holds 7 corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There have been identified some so-called battleground areas. Yes, when the Sangre Grande is one.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the other ones?
Well, they're saying San Fernando. I don't know why.
I see a lot of you're right. A lot of effort is being placed in San Fernando.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that it's a battleground. I don't know. Maybe we should have a political person on, analyst on, some 6:15 to when they'll have best background and thing now. Watch.
Is that actually showing? I'm playing around with it and trying to get my back.
You.
You're not seeing me?
No.
Yeah, that's. I was wondering.
You look very good, though.
All right, I tried something that didn't work.
Well,
all right. Do you think the results of the local government elections 2023 will change from 3 years ago? It's 7-7 now. Do you think
we have new players in the PP, the NTA, the PDP, the Farmers Party? I think is also working with Philip Alexander's PP.
Yes.
And several independent candidates. I think I covered them all there.
Yes, there are several independent candidates.
Yeah, and there's several. I know Valencia is one because I've been seeing that young lady advertising on social media, promoting herself on social media. So, do you think the results are going to change?
Somewhere in Port of Spain too.
In 2023, because there's so many new players in the game who are making themselves very, very well noticed. The most prominent of those being Philip Alexander, who will be our guest at 7:05 or 7:06, and Guy Griffith of the NTA, who is in an amalgamation with the UNC for the election. Philip Alexander is also working with, is it the Farmers Party? The Revitalized Farmers Party.
Workers Farmers Party or something so?
Party, yeah. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting result no matter what, because at the end of the day, many are using this as a barometer as to the mood of the country. heading for 2025. Although the government will remain the same on the 15th, but certainly there'll be a lot of shouting and demonstration from whomever is able to be successful on the 15th of August.
A week before the elections, I said this a month and something before the elections, and I'm saying it a week before the elections. And I'm not say it because of the poll, because you'll say I'm trying to take the poll again.
Yeah, Ms. Maloney says no.
Do it after 7.
Yeah. Leonard Naipaul, good morning to you as well. Do you think the results of the local government elections 2023 will change from 3 years ago? Give us a call, 222-8255, toll free, North Americans, 866-525-1099.
We want to hear from the hundreds on YouTube now. Come on, we want to hear from you. And those of you who are viewing on LinkedIn and on Facebook, give us a sense of what you think. If you think anything will change, the campaigns have been quite intense, very, very intense, more akin to a national general election than a local government election that we've seen in the past. We asked the question, if you think voting numbers will increase. I think, I can't remember the result of that. I think the voting numbers will increase.
I suspect it can.
I think the numbers of people going out to vote in this election, this local government election, is going to increase because of the ferocity of the intensity of the campaigns from both major parties and the new parties who are on the scene. Both energized, which I always think that these things are good for the democracy in the country.
Yeah. We have a call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Grandy. Yes.
Thank you, Grandy. Leonard Naipaul says yes. Kazim Mohammed also says yes.
I think anytime you get new entrants into the political arena, it's good for democracy. It means that the older players can't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy you're saying that, Paul. You know why? Because there are a bunch of people out there talking about calling Dr. Rowley a dictator and that we living in a dictatorship. You don't get this level of democracy in a dictatorship. Are people not aware of that?
Good morning, caller. Caller, good morning. All right, not there. Meb says yes. Andre says yes.
Do you think the results of the local government elections 2023 will change from 3 years ago? Yes or no? Right now, the PNM has 7 corporations and the UNC has 7 corporations. We also have 2 new borough corporations in Diego Martin and Superior.
Yes. Yes.
So the configuration of some have changed. My understanding that some of the districts have also changed.
They've added 2 districts and they've had some boundary changes in some.
Some boundary changes, yeah.
Yeah, it was previously 139. It's now 141 districts. And
yesterday there was a lot of ta-ta-da-da-ta-da-ta in this area.
Good to hear, because
on Saturday there was a lot of walkabouts also. And they've been quite cordial to each other when they meet up on the streets, which is good also.
Normal thing, I keep telling people at local government level, the politics don't play out like how it plays out at the central government level. Local government people generally get along,
Yeah, they've been very cordial when I saw them meeting up.
Yeah, councillors and
blue walking around. I saw yellow walking around. I saw red walking around. Last week I saw orange walking around. So they're moving around,
Darren Raghunath says no. Morgain says no. What says you, caller?
Good morning from Georgia.
Hey, Georgia, morning.
Georgia.
Yeah.
He said yes.
Yes. Thank you, Georgia. All the best to you. Stay hydrated.
Will do.
All the
best to you.
These temperatures these days, boy.
Yeah,
it's extremely
yesterday
hot.
Was scorcher.
Extremely hot.
My word. Real hot.
Yes, there was. Whoa, unbelievable.
Congratulations to West Indies too. They won the first 2 T20 matches The first one in Trinidad, Taruba, that happened on last Thursday, was it? And of course, on Sunday, yesterday, they beat India again at Guyana, in Guyana.
Almost didn't win it. After Puran, that was it. It was a tumble.
Yeah, which also happened in the first one. Eh? But they held their nerve and they won the game yesterday. Thanks to Akil Hussain, mainly. So well done. Congratulations to the West Indies cricket team. Of course, people are downplaying. Sorry?
Andre's asking you a question. Steve, can you ask Wendell, given that the section of the act to create full-time counters has not been proclaimed, can that be implemented after the elections?
Yeah, the simple answer is yes. There are a lot of things that can be implemented after the election. The only thing that was implemented prior to the election was the term limit, the length of the term, which has moved from 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
That's the only one that was
Hey, good morning. Good morning. This is Leonard.
Leonard, morning from North Carolina. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Good. In a heat wave over here.
Yeah. We have a heat wave here too, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday was a scorcher here.
Need someone to come here and bring a block of ice over here.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Leonard, for calling. All the best here.
All right. To all of you, too. All of you. Thank you.
All right.
Is that Leonard as in Leonard Naipaul?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Let's get into our 7 o'clock major news. Evie is in.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley once again takes opposition leader to task over comments she made in relation to our party's plan to implement standing ground law. Integrity Commission responds to opposition MP's complaint about PM's Tobago townhouse. Nurses warn of more protests, and Niger's coup leaders have closed the country's airspace until further notice. Details in a moment. This is news to 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. I'm Avril Sintel-Bab. Good morning. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is once again taking opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bassassi to task over comments she made in relation to her party's plan to implement stand your ground law if her party is returned to office. He has maintained that while the issue of crime and criminality was not new to this society, which would have witnessed its gradual escalation over the years, no one needs to be re-traumatized by persons on a political platform who are only intent on using it to create fear-mongering among the masses. Dr. Rowley urged Persad-Bassassi to give citizens something useful for society to engage in as a response to the criminal element. He insisted the government does not want to make Trinidad and Tobago a military society.
The country would have approved the importation of 5,000 or 8,000 firearms a year, and it jumped to 58,000 in 1 year. Multiply that by 40,000 and ask yourself who was getting that money, and ask yourself how many police officers are now before the court for the corruption of the firearms department in the police service. Ask yourself why the last commissioner of police is busy in the courthouse every Monday morning asking the court not to let the prime minister or anybody tell the country what the government knows about what went on in the police service.
The prime minister said the aim is to ensure proper accountability and transparency in the process.
It is not a society where if you defend yourself with your licensed firearm and protect your family, that you are likely to go and find yourself before the court for having defended yourself. So what is this issue in a local government election that half of the campaign of other people is about stand your ground? Right now, as I speak to you, there are 14 states in America that are trying to get rid of that law. Because in a plural society, what it has done, it has created division, and the use of that carte blanche force of one against the other has had very, very bad outcomes.
The Integrity Commission has stated that it has terminated an investigation into the complaint against the Prime Minister. It determined that the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, was in breach of the Integrity in Public Life Act, the IPLA, when he omitted to declare the purchase of a Tobago townhouse to the Commission. However, the Commission stated that it has because there is no criminal offense and accompanying sanction within the statutory boundaries of the IPLA regarding his omission. The commission stated further that it is of the view that Dr. Rowley did not knowingly provide false information in his declaration. This information was provided to opposition MP Saddam Hussein, who wrote to the commission in December 2021 asking for an investigation into Dr. Rowley's purchase of the Tobago townhouse. The latest development is that former Attorney General Anand Ram Logan, on behalf of his client Ravi Balgobin Maharaj, has issued a pre-action protocol letter dated August 3, 2023, to the Integrity Commission challenging its decision. The commission acknowledged that the Prime Minister did receive a gift in the form of a discount, but the evidence indicated that the discount was not connected to, directly or indirectly, with the performance of his duties as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Nurses are warning of more protest action in the future. They claim there is need for government to improve the patient-to-staff ratio. The Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association believes patient care can be compromised if the development is not urgently addressed.
We are asking for patient-to-staff ratios to be implemented mandatory across all RHAs. So we're calling on the Minister of Health and the RHAs to implement this patient-to-staff ratio. It is untenable where the adequate ratio for a medical surgical ward should be 1:4, 1:5.
TTRNA President Edie Stewart spoke with members of the media during the association's latest demonstration on the issue.
Second issue we are bringing to light today, these bread vans that they paint the word ambulance on, it is unacceptable, it's ill-equipped, it is not properly manned. We are saying under the laws, under the policies of the very authority, is saying EMT is supposed to be on those vehicles. And every now and then, if the EMT can't handle it, then you call a nurse or a doctor to accompany. But we cannot be running up and down like a taxi service. It is not in our job spec, and we have not been insured over the years.
National cyclist Nicholas Paul advanced to today's men's sprint semi-finals at the International Cycling Union World Championships in Glasgow, Scotland. Paul defeated multiple British champion Joseph Truman in straight rides of the quarter-final event to book a spot in today's semi-final duel. He is scheduled to meet England's two-time Olympic medalist Jack Carlin and speedster Mateusz Riddick of Poland. Paul will face Ruddick in Heat 2 of Monday's semi-final ride from approximately 7:15 today. The final rides off later on in the day. You are listening to news on Power 102 Digital to 7 o'clock. Further afield, Niger's coup leaders have closed the country's airspace until further notice, citing the threat of military intervention from their neighbors. Flight tracking website Flight Trader 24 is showing that there are currently no aircraft in Niger's skies. The West African group of countries, ECOWAS, had earlier warned it could use force if President Mohamed Bazoum was not reinstated. A junta spokesman says Niger's armed forces are ready to defend the country. Well, finally, here's weather news for the period today till midnight. Trinidad and Tobago, mostly hot and sunny day is expected. However, a few showers will develop during the afternoon. There is a medium chance of the isolated afternoon heavy shower or thunderstorm favoring hilly and western areas of Trinidad. Tonight will be fair. Gusty winds and street or flash flooding may occur near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Look out for a forecast maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius at Piarco International Airport and 32 degrees Celsius at Crown Point in Tobago. Currently, the temperature is 29 degrees Celsius at Piarco and 28 at Crown Point in Tobago. Recapping your headlines to 7 o'clock, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley once again takes opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessy to task over comments she made in relation to her party's plan to implement stand-your-ground law if her parties return to office. Integrity Commission responds to opposition MPs' complaint about Prime Minister's Tobago townhouse. Nurses warn of more protests, and Niger's coup leaders have closed the country's airspace until further notice, citing the threat of military intervention from their neighbors. I'm Avril Sintelbab. That was News 2, 7 o'clock on Power 102 Digital. Look out for more news in detail coming up at 12 noon and an update coming you at 8 o'clock this morning. For more details, log on to power102fm.com.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right, thank you, Avi, for our major news. Thank you so much, Avi. Yep, it's a hot one. 29 already at Piarco and 28 at Crown Point. Of course, you can join Avi again come 8 o'clock with our news brief. Quickly, taking a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Leaving south, heading towards Claxton Bay, you got some volume. Rivulet Road is a bit heavy this morning, but after that, it's just by Chase Village towards Sugar Guanas, and of course, that main road is a bit sticky. Towards the interchange, no problems. Trin City to Uwe, and then from Uwe heading into Port of Spain, just by swim call, you'll get some volume. All right, and that's pretty much it. Nothing ready to tell you about. All right, that's quick traffic update for you as it stands. Regarding our morning poll, we've got Beauty Culture saying yes to the poll. Josie Richardson, good morning to Josie, says yes. Mr. Carapo says no. And that's all the votes I have.
All right, so I guess we can give the results. It's very, very close. Do you think the results of the local government 2023 elections will change from 3 years ago? Well, from 2019, 9 people said yes and 8 said no. 9 said yes, 8 said no. We didn't get a lot of the usual votes this morning. I don't know why.
Good morning, Mr. Alexander. You're muted.
Muted.
Good morning.
Right.
How are you, sir?
You want my camera this way or horizontal, or does it not matter? Is this video or audio alone?
Both.
Do you want this camera like this, or you? Oh.
It's fine as it is, but you can try the landscape mode if you so desire. Yeah, better.
Is it better?
Yeah, better. Thanks.
You have to bring your head in the frame now.
Well, you fixed it. Give him a chance to fix it now.
The man have 2 minutes now.
By then the results of the poll done gone, you know. You taking too long to fix it, you know.
You fix it, man. Fix it. You the man who say you fix it, you want to win something. It's so hard for them to get me dizzy now. Come on, man.
But you tell him fix it, Paul.
Good morning. Good. If he say you fix it, well, fix it is his tagline, you know.
I know.
Fix it.
Philip will fix it.
Are we happy there?
I can work with that. You're a little too close to the camera now, but that's all right. Right, perfect. Good morning, Philip Alexander. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Are we live yet?
Of course, we're live. Yes, we're live.
We've been live all this time.
Yes, waiting. We taking it. We live since 6 o'clock this morning. Anyway, good morning. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to all your viewers and your listeners, and especially to the people who voted for change in your poll this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, actually,
yes, but isn't that telling though to you?
To me, I absolutely expected. What we're seeing on the ground is an outpouring of love and support. We are going to be making a difference on August 14th on the results. Prepare to say the words Progressive Empowerment Party a lot on August 14th.
I don't want to presume anything. Let me just start from the beginning. You started this party a couple of years ago, and in this election, there are a lot of new players. We were talking about that this morning, which I think is great for democracy. What is your platform? Tell us what the PP is about, so that people who may not know get a chance to hear it, and what kind of change are you advocating for in the way we do things in local government? Because it's a local government election.
What the Progressive Empowerment Party is about is leveling the play field nationally in education, in access to funding for business, access to foreign exchange, healthcare. We live in a two-tiered society broken by class and race, and people with access to political power have a different life, know a different Trinidad than the rest of Trinidad and Tobago. We want to fix that. The banks in Trinidad and Tobago have been doing to people pretty much what they wanted. The laws don't work. We have people in jail for 10, 20, 30 years, longer than they should be if they had been convicted of the matter that strayed on for all those years. All of these things he's fixing, nothing works in Trinidad and Tobago. The Progressive Empowerment Party has been built on a platform of raising those issues in thousands of hours of live video on Facebook, social media posts that created a movement that became a political party on January 18, 2017, and has now become what is possibly the largest third party the country has ever had.
How do you gauge that? When you make a statement like that, how do you know?
By the support. I was in the Congress of the People. I was in the belly of the beast. I've been in political communications in these political parties for a long time, and I worked alongside the leadership of two parties, and I have seen what it takes to get people to behave with the frenzy we are getting. Paul, we everywhere, we Manzanilla, we Niara. Yesterday I was in Palo Seco, day before I was in Cedros, Diego Martin, Mount Hope, Charfleur, Lavantel, Deaton, Silots, you name it, we're there. We everywhere, and the response is the same: black, white, red, green, and every shade in between, loving the PEP, and we loving the love.
Leadership is very important in any political space, leadership of the party. And I'm going to ask this question of all the leaders who come before us this week. Why is Philip Alexander a better leader than the other parties' leaders in this election? What qualities of leadership do you espouse that you think the population should gravitate toward? Because leadership in any party drives the party ethos, it drives the party ambition.
That's a beautiful question, Paul, and I look forward to the answers from the others who hear mine going forward. The Progressive Empowerment Party has done what no other party in our history has been able to do, barring the start of the Eric Williams PNM that was predicated on wrenching independence from the colonials. But the Progressive Empowerment Party, in a sea of divided politics, racially divided politics, where you're supposed to have a base, a political party was created that has generated a lot of membership and support. We have zero deep pocket financiers, and we have still been able to bunch with the cows and set a pace for this election. In the last general election, 2020, we had 29 candidates. We fielded 31, 2 didn't make it past nomination day. We have strong policies that the other political parties are pilfering and using and trying to pass off as their own. It doesn't exist in any of their pre-2017 manifestos, Vision 2020, Vision 2030, nothing. All came out of the Progressive Empowerment Party that we've been very...
No, I'm loath to interrupt you. I ask about you as the leader, leadership.
Well, I come to that because all of those things will be begun by myself and a small handful of people who decided to take what was an activist, Philip Edward Alexander, and take it forward and see if it could become a political movement. The support that I had translated into a political movement. This morning I read Gregory White. Somebody sent me Gregory White, who's a serial contributor in the media. He sent out a message to all his friends saying he has no choice but to support the PEP because nothing else outside there making sense. The leadership of the party is what brought all of these people. People are committing to a Progressive Empowerment Party that ostensibly should have no hope. And yet it is all the hope in the country. It is leadership that does that. Leadership attracts the best people. You know that you can't build a movement on one man. It has to be the people that you attract. 99% of the best people that we've attracted are still with us all these years later, not getting paid, having to put money out of their own pockets to pay for the gas to go to Palo Seco and Cedros and Manzanilla and lovingly, enjoyably doing it. Putting aside
Mr. Alexander,
Christmas Day. Tell me how much time you have for that question, because
Mr. Alexander, you said just now that there are some ideas that are originally PEP ideas that other people are using. Give us an example.
Decentralizing WASA. I've literally walked almost every river in Trinidad to prove the point that our water management system is set up on capturing the water in the hills and throwing it away in the sea and then spending $1 billion a year desalinating seawater. We propose decentralizing WASA and creating small WASAs in all of the constituencies. In fact, we propose the abolishing of the Municipal Corporation Act and the local government system as it exists and creating a constituency board of supervisors. But decentralizing WASA, what the PNM is calling commercial attaches, was our policy to recall all of the ambassadors and high commissioners and replace them with five ambassadors with responsibility for selling Trinidad business to the world and bringing foreign direct investment to Trinidad. The idea that the PNM suddenly stumbled upon about an internal affairs division for the police service. We actually work with the New York City Police Department, and we have members who are senior people in New York City Police Department, and we've been promoting an internal affairs division in police service from our inception, and also the idea of paying police officers incentives to work, financial inducement, because the bandits and the criminals and the gangsters and the contract mafia are doing it now. Why shouldn't the state get the best out of their police officers by giving them rewards and bonuses for arrests and convictions? All of those are Progressive Empowerment Party policies. They are now making their way into government, among other things.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about. Go ahead, William.
So I'm assuming then that those are policies. The PNM is in fact in charge now in terms of central government. I'm assuming then that those are policies that you would publicly support.
So if I cook a pot of rice and somebody thief my pot of rice, you want me to publicly say my rice nice? Yes.
Okay, so you're saying that you're going to publicly support moves like measures like of that from
as long as it is not bad handled, it is the way to go. Trinidad does not have to be this way, but I also hope they secure the borders against the drug trade. I also hope they stop the containers coming off the ports unexamined. I also hope that the education system that wants all the children to do the same CXC exam, all the children get the same books.
Mr. Alexander, there's a reason why. There's a reason. But there's a reason why I'm asking you that, you know why? Because in this lead up to this local elections, you have taken on people who are opposed to the PNM, and now they are branding you a PNM agent. I don't know if you're aware of that. You have branded a PNM agent because you've dared to criticize Gary Griffith, you've dared to criticize Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, you've dared to criticize Jack Warner. So some people out there calling you now a PNM agent.
I want to say this as clear as I could. While the UNC was fumbling around trying to raise their heads from their dribble, I was fighting the PNM for the last 8 years. A lot of what the UNC is using as their campaign narrative was all issues the Progressive Empowerment Party brought in the public space. But to come to the Gary Griffith and the Jack Warner issue, it's because of Jack Warner that Gregory White is saying that he has no choice now but to support the Progressive Empowerment Party, because Kamala had to be, their words, mad to bring somebody that could be arrested at any day by the FBI and put in jail for life. How could you advocate for that? With regards to Gary Griffith, like a lot of people who supported Gary Griffith in the past, when I realized that Gary Griffith was capable of having two tongues in his mouth and speaking two completely contradictory positions when it comes to crime and crime fighting, I've had to withdraw any support for Gary Griffith. Gary told a joint select committee a couple years ago that Kamla Prasad-Bissessar and her party in opposition was spending $42 million through 2 government contracts to reward gangsters for destabilizing the country. He linked the homicide rate to the opposition and is now in bed with the opposition because he's throwing a tantrum against Keith Rowley, who rescued him from his tantrum against Kamala Prasad. He says, Gary Griffin is nobody's leader. Gary's an opportunist with a silver tongue. But people are realizing that now. And you can't compare him. And I hear you say that you're going to be bringing him as a political leader. But a political leader should be able to fight an election. That is the purpose of a political party. You buy a drill to make a hole. You don't buy a drill to have a drill. If you have a political party, its purpose should be to contest elections to win. Gary's not capable of doing that. So he jumped into bed with the only vehicle that was available to him outside of the PNM. And he's demonstrated comprehensively that he is not capable of being a political leader. At best, he's a technocrat. And I don't think that he could be trusted.
All right. I want to go back to your earlier point where you said that the mandate of the PEP is equalizing the playing field in education and access to financing in services to the general population. How do you intend to do this through this local government election? Because those issues are not to be addressed at the local government level.
But Mr. Richardson, with an abundance of respect, you hosted a debate where the major item on the debate cannot be addressed by local government, not even through municipal policing. And I told you that then. So how are we going to determine how these conversations go? You're correct. The issues that need to be addressed in local government, spatial development planning, road building, maintenance of drains and waterways, how we deal with issues with rodents and pests and all those things that go to create a life for people. Those things have not been on the campaign trail for the rest. That's what we've been campaigning on. But to hear you ask me that now, again, I look forward to listening to the rest of this.
And your colleague said that crime should not have been an issue in the local government election. How could it not? Crime is not an issue on the local government level?
It cannot be addressed at local government level. So how could it be
not even through municipal police working with the TTPS?
If you are saying that we are going to change rules and laws and ways things work, then fine, let's have that conversation. And the Progressive Empowerment Party's position is even grander than that. Cherry picking again, grabbing the municipal police that are at best litter wardens and traffic wardens and trying to throw them into crime fighting now is ridiculous. It's going to take a lot. You're better off using the manpower strength of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. Let's have that conversation. But again, it's not covered by local government. So it's a stretch to link municipal police with crime fighting, and that's not municipal police job.
So you stand by the suggestion that crime should not be an issue in local government campaign?
Crime is a national issue that should be above all elections. We have a country where people are dying. We've been saying that for years, but it should not be a determinant factor in a local government election where the only reason, Paul, that it is because Gary's a one-trick pony. That is all he could talk about. I was in your debate. They brought a commander as a follow-up to try and lock up and lock down water and garbage. It doesn't work that way. You need people who understand how things work to be able to deal with the issues. Garbage collection, the issuance of contracts and the local government election, transparency, accountability, all of those things should be in the conversation. They're not be talking crime, like local government could solve crime.
But you also take the opportunity to while you're contesting local government election with a view to 2025, no doubt, as a political party. Is that incorrect?
And I agree with you. But at the start of this little part of this interview, you said to me that you want to limit it to issues that can be affected by. It's not my
I didn't say that. I asked a question.
To argue with you. I understand what you're saying, and for the most part, I agree with you. I was just pointing out the inconsistency, but you're absolutely correct. And I want to say that municipal policing, like much of the local government system in Diego Martin, there are two local government systems, two, that nobody could explain to me. There is a Diego Martin Regional Corporation that is appointed. There is a Diego Martin Regional Corporation that is elected. They have about 19 offices and nobody knows which office does what. The entire system is failed. It is broken. And now we come in with duct tape and spit and calling it local government reform. You see, they know that they could put terms and frighten people or distract people with terms, empty the clip, reform local government. But you're not taking it to the obvious conclusion of explaining and breaking it down to people. How will this affect your life post August 14, 2023?
What are your concerns as a political leader? Because you're contesting how many districts? Your candidates?
47.
47 districts. How did you choose those districts, one? And what are your concerns as political leader of these people who are contesting these, who may be victorious?
Well, we wanted 141. But unlike the PNM and the UNC, we have no access to the backroom boys and we have no access to the date. These people from the jump demonstrated. They had NAPA booked. They had shirts printed. They had candidates pre-screened. From the moment it was announced, we as a political party operated within the law, within the rules, and started to screen round the clock. We settled for 90, were able to have 47 nominated. It is unfair that the system allows some political parties a heads up, a head start. It's like running a race and giving the person half the race.
But did you have to wait for the announcement of the date to start screening candidates? Your party's in existence since 2017. You have quite a bit of machinery behind you.
There's a lot of resources. Paul, there's a lot of resources. Just yesterday we were joking, thank God we only have 47. We are dead. It's a lot of resources to do this. Our political systems are archaic. It's clunky. You dealing with having to go to screening by returning officers throughout the country. The Elections and Boundaries Commission has never issued a document that you could walk with and show to a returning officer. The Chapter 4, Section C says this. So everybody interprets the law to suit themselves. And you have to walk with justice and the peace and check and cash and 4 people with their ID cards. Some people want the 4 people and the grandmother. And I'm saying that to make a joke to tell you that the rules change with regards to, and we have a matter now that is trying to find its way before the courts should be reunited farmers and a couple of our members who didn't make it. There was
Mr.
one
Alexander,
candidate. There was
Mr.
one
Alexander,
candidate.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I have
that thought with one thing.
Sure.
There was one candidate who got back to the returning office 2 minutes late. 2 minutes. He was barred from the election in the interest of democracy.
Well, I can tell you something. 2 things I want to point out to you based on comments that you would have just made. One is that the PNM, whether in government or opposition, has fielded a candidate in every single election in every single district in Trinidad and Tobago. They've never dropped a candidate anywhere. That's 1. 2, I have been in local government since 1999 as a candidate, and the rules have not changed in terms of the nomination day process. It's always, you get 6, we used to get 8 people with their ID cards to nominate you. These 6 people must be on the list of the electors in the district that you wish to represent, right? So that rule has not changed since I have entered politics in 1999.
You being in politics as a candidate is different than you being in politics as a leader. And your statement on the PNM is incorrect. I want you to understand when you look back to 1956 that the PNM has had startup problems like every other political party. And during the first 30 years, they gerrymandered and manipulated and changed the rules to suit their reality. So I wouldn't use them as an example of democracy in any country. But coming back to the statement that I made, we would gladly sit down under oath with a lie detector test with every other leader of every other political party who's ever had to talk about this and get them to explain to you that the rules change with regards to whichever returning office you go. Whether you and I like it or argue about it or not, it doesn't make a difference this morning. What we need is to address those things. We need
some returning officers have not been very.
We need to have a fixed election date so that all of us know in the allocation of resources, time, and money that in 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, there's going to be an election of this nature. Prepare for it.
I won't argue with that. I won't argue with that at all. As a matter of fact, I agree with that. We have discussed that a lot of times on this show.
Thank you.
The 40 plus candidates that you are fielding in the election, what districts are they contesting?
Wow, Paul, I can't list all 47
But the general areas, the 14 municipalities in all corporations.
All corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Some like Point Fortin and Pinal Debe, we have a full slate. Some like Princestown, we have half a slate. In Diego Martin, we have a third of a slate. In Mayaro, we have one district. In Granby, we have 3. In Arima, we have 4. So it's like that. That's where our 47 is allocated throughout the country.
Were you also able to satisfy the list in the alderman? Because you have to put an alderman for each district, regardless whether you're contesting all the districts or not.
Yes, we were, and none of my children made it to the list.
What? I have to take a breath for that. Yes. I'm glad you stopped there because you know how badly you can behave sometimes.
Yeah.
You throw me up there. Stop, you throw me up there. Let me get back on trend, please, right?
Yeah, before you go there, you see, you just said, I want you to also acknowledge that the Council for Ethical Behavior in this election has never had to adjudicate over any complaint for the Progressive Empowerment Party, but 2 for the PNM and 1 for the UNC have both been found wanting. So do you remember that?
Well, maybe nobody officially complained because I have instances where the council operates, quite frankly. I told Dr. Raghunath that when we had him as our guest last week. Anyway, what are your concerns as a leader? Should your candidates be successful in the new iteration of local government, if any at all, or what are you looking forward to?
No, well, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to work within the system as it is. The most that we could do, that I pledge to all the burgesses as we campaign tirelessly throughout all of the districts, I promise them this, that even where the system fails, Philip Alexander and the Progressive Empowerment Party won't. Keith Rowley sent a tongue-in-cheek message to all of us that he will still be the Prime Minister in 2015, to mean that the government holds the purse strings. And again, that is something that has to be addressed at a constitutional level. The Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Minister of Finance, Central Bank Governor, whoever has control of the taxpayers' consolidated fund should be responsible for allocating equally to all constituencies, all councils, all districts, so that everybody could do the job. But Keith Rowley's statement that he will still be Prime Minister to warn us that he will be withholding funds, the UNC will use that to cry to people and say, well, they have no money, they can't work. I tell them I will come down and barbecue and curry you to fix your bridge and your road. And I'll embarrass and shame the government. And we'll use the courts. And if we have to go before the Equal Opportunity Tribunal, and as far as the Privy Council, to determine that the country has representation and all of those representatives deserve an equal chance to represent the people who voted them in office. That's my major concern.
The issue of, you said that you've been enjoying a good response from the public at large. How do you think that will translate into seats out of the 47 on election day?
Well, local government is traditionally a low voter turnout. So by midday, all of us would be reporting and noting we would be noting through our polling agents, you would be reporting through your own exit poll system, that there is a very high voter turnout. If it contrasts to the interest, there are people who say there is more interest in this local government election than we've seen in general elections in the past. If that interest and excitement translates to votes, and we see a high voter turnout early, Progressive Empowerment Party going to damage them.
Why do you think there's a heightened interest in this local government? And I believe there's a heightened interest, personally.
You're seeing it on the ground, you're seeing it on the news, you're seeing it in the media. Media people are saying this, that this is there's a lot of interest. There are polls being run. There's a lot of interest. People normally don't take on 30% of those elected, those registered to vote, come out to vote. There are special electors. You've never seen this much of a frenzy in a local government before. And it is because it is being hotly contested. And people have real choice. And from the start of the Progressive Empowerment Party, it's like when a race starts and you watch all 15 of the runners leave the blocks and they're running down and everybody's just a blur of runners. But At some point, people start to leave the park and demonstrate that they have the ability to win. And people are now seeing that of the Progressive Empowerment Party and have turned their attention to us. When you compile that with the fact that the PNM has failed the nation over the last 8 years, and the UNC still has not recovered from their People's Partnership fiasco, a lot of people are saying it's Progressive Empowerment Party or nothing.
You mentioned, I'm seeing a Saturday Express article that cites leaders breach code of conduct, council rules and complaints against Pamela, PM, Jack, Anil, and Philip. Well, I haven't got no official on information on that, but this is what the article by Anna Ramdas is saying. So it'll be interesting to see what the details of any official communique from the council is on you. Do you think you've conducted yourself in an ethical and proper manner during this campaign?
Paul, they've made no room for us. There was no room for a strong third party.
No, I didn't ask you that. I asked you if you think you've conducted yourself in that way.
Well, you see, it's difficult to answer those questions with one word because.
Go ahead. Floor is yours.
No, I'm just saying that there's no room. There's no room. All the space around the Progressive Empowerment Party, we created, we fought for that 1 inch at a time. The rules were set up to keep us out. We've had to push those aside. We've had to make ourselves, we had to create a space for ourselves and demand it. You know the issues with just the media picking and choosing. Gary Griffith, with his failed party that ain't going nowhere, get more media in the past 3 weeks than we've gotten in the 7 years we're here. And it's deliberate, and you could say whatever the determinant is. At the end of the day, politics is about giving the people the opportunity to use the 4 charters of the Constitution, gives them the right to pick and choose who they associate with, who they want to hear, who they want to represent them. And the media has worked against the Constitution in that regard. And we've had to fight that.
So again, I ask the question, do you think you've conducted yourself in an ethical and proper manner during this campaign? And I know my impression of your question is that you have to go beyond that to get attention. Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Is it that you've had, because you mentioned we had to create our own space to be heard? And my original question was, do you think you've conducted yourself in a proper and ethical manner during your campaign? Simple question.
Well, I always want to say yes. I always want to say we've done the best that we could, but some people may not. Other people love the strength and the courage, the patriotism that they've seen. People love my fire. Some people don't. I guess it is usually determined by where you're coming from, what you're already predisposed to or committed to. So I accept that going forward. I try to be the best man that I can be to everybody. My number one fan right now is my mother. And to me, if she liking what I'm doing, So
when you say you were evolving, you tried to, so that you'd agree that you may have crossed the line in terms of what you've said in the past. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Come on, right?
Absolutely. But then I'm also saying that there's an artificial line for me that other people are not bound by.
In what way?
When Keith Rowley said he have a pair of Tobago boots that is used to kick shit, and he want to be wearing his shit kickers.
All right, but let's manage the language. I understand what you're saying, but let's manage the language. We have a particular code here, right? Let's just manage the language.
Sorry, I apologize. I did not know that was not a word that you were.
Yeah,
But you remember when he said that, and that's the Prime Minister. At the end of the day, the line that exists.
Right, but because one person decides to go a particular way, whether it be Prime Minister, does it mean that everybody now takes it as freedom to go that way? Is everybody going to have a different approach? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. No, it doesn't. But you do not get to set a higher standard for me than for the Prime Minister.
But I don't.
If anybody should be held to the highest standard, it should be the Prime Minister. Yes or no?
Agreed.
So if I fail and the Prime Minister fails, you can't give me the harder slap. And that's
we have on this show, I can only speak for this show because we've been the ones to invite you and try to be equal to all political parties taking part. We have chastised the Prime Minister for comments he's made in the past. So you can't say that. We have. Even Wendell Stevens, who is a self-admitted PNM. Am I wrong, Wendell?
You're not wrong.
We have held him to account for things he said that we don't agree with.
Dr. Richards, I absolutely agree with you, sir. I absolutely agree with you. The only point that I am making when you ask if I cross the line is I am saying that the line is an artificial one and it is not generally, equally, evenly enforced.
Mr. Alexander, I don't know, I may have missed it, but recently we would have heard some comments from the opposition leader about light them up, empty the clip, knock it and knock it back and so on. I don't remember hearing any comments coming out from yourself or your political party concerning those comments. You care to comment now?
Yes, can I read my media release?
Sure.
It has been brought to my attention that on 2 occasions over the last few days, persons in heavily tinted vehicles pulled up to our members while campaigning, once in San Juan and the other in Belmont, rolled down their windows and pointed what were later realized to be toy guns at candidates and acted out as if spraying them with bullets. It was sufficiently menacing to leave them all disturbed and one member rattled and traumatized. I have asked them for reports which will be forwarded to our attorneys to determine if there is sufficient information to warrant the making of police reports. What would have happened if, in the moments of uncertainty before it was realized that the threat was not real, if any armed security personnel in our detail had utilized preventative fire to suppress the threat and kill them both? It may well be coincidence that the suddenly high inflammatory and inciting narrative promoting gun violence on the campaign trail happened around the same time. But these instances make the point that we are straying into dangerous territory where political rhetoric could easily manifest dangerous and deadly consequences. Those utilizing such lyrics should be mindful of the potential for harm those words set out of context could have, and reconsider if this is a precedent we want to be setting at this time. The opposition leader and her chief defender, a former commissioner no less, are being highly irresponsible with their words and actions and are sowing the wind for attention. Because she is a stranger to the culture she is quoting, she misunderstands that the people she is gassing up are not the intended victims. The Council for Responsible Political Behavior has determined that the comments were responsible. What we need to see now is, like her counterpart in the PNM, if the leader of the UNC is going to flout the ruling, or if she's going to do the responsible thing and step back from the precipice she and they insist on dragging the nation to. Philip Edward Alexander, political leader, Progressive Empowerment Party. That's not the first thing that I've said on it, but that is what I put out this morning, and Paul Richards would have it in his WhatsApp. I have said repeatedly that it was wrong. It is not where we want to go. I have stood against it from the start. But in the pull and tug for media time, the Progressive Empowerment Party and Philip Edward Alexander only gets media time if I do and say something that touches or crosses the line, and I get that. But I have no interest in crossing the line for media time this election, as the majority of our campaigning and communicating is directly with the voters.
And that scenario that you just outlined is extremely disturbing to me almost equally as disturbing as the poster that made the rounds on the weekend involving the Prime Minister and a target on his chest. I think, and these are the kinds of instances that this country has to zealously guard against. That scenario you described with your candidates is extremely disturbing. Did you report it to the police, as you said? Did you?
No, because this release is this morning. I got this information yesterday evening. Immediately I called our attorneys. I said, they do not have footage and they do not have license plate numbers. So I do not know if we have enough information to give to the police. And I don't want to waste police time. So I've asked, it happened to Felicia Holder in Belmont, and it happened to Satish Ramsaran and Indira Singawai in Sawa. And I asked them all to write up reports. So those two or three reports would go to our attorneys who would guide if yes, this should go straight to the police.
Well, my concern is that if you don't report, because that is a very menacing threat. I would consider that, if it happened to me, a threat on my life.
Yeah.
Someone pointing a gun toy on her, because I can't ascertain whether it's a toy gun or not.
You can't know.
And pointing in a politically charged environment is a very dangerous development.
Correct.
And I think it should be reported to the police.
Indira Singawai is one of our candidates for St. James, and it made her come off the campaign trail for a couple of days. She was traumatized by it, and I understand, because it was a very menacing act. What was told to me yesterday, I was very disturbed by, and I told Satish Ramsaran, a senior member of the party, he should have gotten to this to me sooner. But they've just been trying to take the hits, and that's what the PEP has become. We just expect and take the disadvantages that come our way. But this one, as you said, Paul, I told him, no, this is not that. This could be an actual threat, and we need to know if it is something that warrants law enforcement investigating. But again, the one thing I do not want to do is waste police time. Okay. So the attorneys will tell us.
I don't know how that could be wasting police time if a candidate felt threatened by someone pointing what looked like a weapon to her. That is not a way. That is something that you should responsibly report.
And I know India. She's contesting St. James East. And what part? This happened in St. James?
No, she was on somebody else's campaign in Sawa.
Oh, because I know India. Okay.
I would advise you.
Correct, Paul, you're absolutely correct. And I am not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just saying, when I heard, now I'm not playing police, but I heard that they didn't have, I asked, you have footage, did you get the license plate numbers? Because immediately I would have said, let's go straight to the police. I told them that yesterday. I said, leave where you are and go and make reports. But further conversations told me we didn't have any evidence. I didn't want to send the police off on a fool's errand. But then what you're saying, make the report anyway, and I will.
Yeah. In our last 10 minutes, what do you want to tell the public about your campaign and what you have planned for the country at the local government level?
I'd like to tell Trinidad and Tobago it's time for us to be a lot more responsible with our country. The average small businessman this morning, and I'm talking small businessman from a $5 million business down to the bakery on the corner, can't access credit, can't access developmental finance, can't access foreign exchange. But other businesses have foreign products literally falling off their shelves. They don't export, they don't manufacture. How do we justify that? How do we justify that some businesses can open in 1 year and open 120 branches, and others struggle just to keep the lights on for the first 2 to 3 years that business school tells you that you have to go through with credit and finance to catch yourself to be able to survive? Business finance, the banking situation in Trinidad and Tobago is insane. We need to address issues like those on a level where people's lives are. We cannot continue to function as a nation where some people benefit and the rest don't, and pretend that that is normal, or let false pride and shame keep us from raising our hands and raising our voices. That is the purpose of the Progressive Empowerment Party, to speak up for the children who did well in SEA but are placed in schools that are not prestige schools, while children who did not do as well are placed in better schools. We cannot continue to have a two-tiered society. We need to level the playing field and give everybody the same access to hope and opportunity, and let our people survive, let them thrive.
Are you willing to take some calls?
Absolutely.
All right, phone lines are open. Our guest is political leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Make sure and say it right here. Philip Alexander.
Yeah. Mr. Alexander, just for clarity, what is the name of the Farmers Party you've teamed up with?
Reunited Farmers Alliance, Devika Thomas. You should have her on as a guest.
Well, we plan to have people on at 6:15, so I'm trying to contact her today for later on in the week.
Let me know if you need any assistance with that.
Tell us about why you decided to team up with this Farmers Party.
Reunited Farmers.
Reunited Farmers, sorry.
We've been working with them since they started up fighting for the VSEP. Do you know that the county workers who signed VSEP 20 years ago have still not gotten their VSEP? We We partnered with them over that when they called for assistance, and we were glad to help the former Caribbean workers because we have an organization called the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago that we use to help people who are being poorly done by through injustice. And we've been working with them since, and it's been a very healthy relationship. When they said that they were interested in taking part in the elections, I told Devika, I said, this is very good. I think that you would make an excellent politician and an excellent candidate, and I'd like to support you in any way that I could. And the conversation got to the point, let's work together, and so said, so done. We spoke with other workers groups.
Good morning.
And we're interested in working with small business groups, workers groups.
Put a pin, we have a call. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Philip. I don't, I just want to ask a question whether on what is the difference between you and the other leaders. I gather from that what he was asked, what qualities do you offer? What is it about yourself that is different from the other leaders? I don't think you answered that. I wanted to hear what you say. I'm not attacking you or anything, but
no, I don't take it as an attack.
What it is you have to really see that makes you as an individual different. And then this guy came in and asked another question and it went off. I don't think you answered that. I want to hear that.
I honestly don't know how to answer that. To please the question, I'll tell you, I am very strong. My strength, my tenacity, my courage, my patriotism, my willingness to sacrifice and work hard for my country. I'm very bright. I am able to solve problems very quickly. People know that about me. I keep my word. If I tell you I'm going to do something, that is going to get done. That's who I am. I have made sure that my politics, that I sit with my family. My dad, we buried him a year ago. But my family, my mother, last time my mother called me on the phone to say what's going on, your YouTube, all of your B10s, I'm not seeing it. And I had to tell Satisha, make sure, because my mother buffing me, I'll give her your number because she gets to tell me what I do right and what I do wrong still at this age of my life. I want to be somebody that my mother, my children, my family could be proud of, that the people who work with me that decide to help and finance and support this party in any way could be proud to be a part of. And if anything I could say for myself that to promote me is that my commitment to my country is unwavering. I have been an activist and now a politician, a combined total of 30 years. And I have been
Philip will fix it. What would you say is the top 3 in your priority fix it list? Because there's a lot to fix in this country.
What would I say? What?
Are your top 3 fix-its in the next 2 years leading up to the election, if you had the opportunity? Because there's a lot to fix in this country. Your tagline is Philip will fix it. What do you think needs to be fixed first?
At the local level or just at anything?
Local and national.
Our policy to create a constituency board of supervisors will fix public utilities, public works, education, healthcare, and national security all at the same time. It will decentralize the power of state back to the constituencies and end corruption. People will be able to capture, hold, treat, and distribute their own water, make sure the children get a proper education, proper healthcare, professional first world healthcare, take care of the conditions of the roads. Yesterday, I had to do a video in San Fernando, and I actually went down in a crevasse where the road had collapsed, and I showed the people the layers of pitch to blue metal crush run, to gravel, to soil. And I told them, where's the retention wall? Where's the foundation? There's none. And that's why our roads are collapsing and things like that. So our constituency board of supervisors is our first thing, would fix those things. I would engage in constitutional reform, fix election day, recall legislation so that you could fire non-performing members of parliament, separate the legislature from the executive, so members of parliament could only be legislators and members of parliament, not ministers, so that you could hire effective CEOs to run the major ministries, constitutional reform, the constituency board of supervisors. And then I think that I would tackle the bogey of securing the nation's borders. I would like to add,
you know, Mr. Alexander, I have to tell you, a lot of what you're saying was said previously by DC's Patrick Manning.
Let's go back to the phone. We have a call meeting. Go ahead, caller. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Go ahead, please.
Morning, Paul. Morning, Mr. Alexander. Quick question.
Morning.
As we know, Trinidad is a very corrupt society. What would you do if some of your members are elected, or what would you do if elected to remove, if not reduce significantly, the levels of corruption within the corporation?
Thank you.
That broke up so much, Paul. You heard it clearly.
He said Trinidad and Tobago is generally, in his opinion, a corrupt country. What would you do if your members are elected to reduce the level of corruption in the corporations?
If the corporations as a whole, or my members, or what?
Well, the ones I guess your members are part of, or if you can go wider.
Well, again, our policy for our constituency board of supervisors, if that were in force, then that would be an easy way to deal with, because the decentralization of funding and power makes it more transparent than 41 levels. But if it is with the existing system that exists now, the Progressive Empowerment Party would like to be a shining beacon of transparency. All our members could tell you, if you commit any act of wrongdoing as a member of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and we could identify that you are in fact engaged in wrongdoing, you'll be distanced from the party and action will be taken to the fullest extent of the law.
All right. Paul, you're muted. Paul,
You have a minute to pitch your party and your candidate. Go ahead, please.
Sorry?
Philip? We're closing minutes now. You have a minute to pitch your party and your candidates for next Monday. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
I'd just like to ask Trinidad and Tobago to please come out early on the morning of August 14. Vote for your Progressive Empowerment Party candidate. Look for this symbol on the wall behind me. That is the Progressive Empowerment Party symbol. Go out early. Vote for that candidate. When you get a Progressive Empowerment Party councillor, you get me. And I will make sure, because we are in this local government election to prove that government can work, that political parties can keep their word, so that at the general election, you will take a chance, make us your choice, and give us the opportunity to fix Trinidad and Tobago.
All right.
Philip, thank you so much for being our first guest this week. We appreciate your time. And you see how we fear to meet people. We try to give everybody a chance,
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. Again, thank you to all your viewers and listeners.
Thank you so much. Philip Alexander, political leader of the People's Empowerment Party. That's our show for today. Tomorrow morning, Khadija Amin, Wednesday, Paul Imber, Thursday, Gary Griffith, and Friday, Prime Minister Dr. P. Crowley. Have a great day, everyone, and please be safe out there.
All right, folks, remember to have a fantastic day. Remember to let go and let God. Bye-bye.